Hello. I don't know if it's the screen time I'm putting in or what. This market is this market is changing before my very eyes. There's a lot more jumps in the pre-market than there was. Like it'll just jump to 15 ticks in the opposite direction. I bid 50 down to the low side, a short off of the LVN at 48 and 17 trades, and they let me out. That's the first short of the day, I think. And the distribution thickens up. I miss what looks like something at 50 twice because they come down, and a third time, and I pull again. 52 evens, I'm short. Holding there, breaks down 51.75, 51.50. And then we cut through. VPOC shifted. I pull that there. Thickens up. I'm looking for 50 even for a short. VPOC of the day changes. 52 also would be a good place to long. These are just a basic return pullback setups, and I'm just pretty much chilling, if that makes sense. Now we sit on 52 for a long time, which is not something I'm a fan of. And I adjust my stop because there's no down ticking at all, and that was the correct move. Even though price rallied in the opposite direction after it came down to VPOC, there just wasn't any pressure from sellers that I wanted, and so I got out. 55 even would be a place to short, and 53.75, which was pulled. I'm short. I'm long here on a return pullback. Off of the upticking to 49.25. Notice how it came from 25 to even, and now it's sitting at 75. So that's bearish. And then there was demand, and then there was pressure on the buy side at 49 even, 22 traded, and there was nothing there. And the Q either spoofs or somebody stacks. It was a seller who spoofed. There was a 69, and then it disappeared. And I'm trying to trade the distribution there. I'm going to take either 46s or 47 75s. I think I get antsy and I take 75s. And it immediately goes against me here. So I got in with no um, sound confirmation. Even if there is a tick down at 42.50, it would have made more sense to get in. But I didn't do that. And I paid the price. Now I'm looking for 48.75, which is what I get here, up to 51s. And there's buyers on the inside prints 11 and 12, and they're holding the bid, which is good. It also thickens up temporarily. They sell and reload on the bid. and then somebody spoofs the cue again, and I lower my stop out of the normal reference range because I'm just looking to see how tape develops rather than winning the trade, and I want room to manage the trade correctly. Somebody spoofs again, and I think about lowering my stop again because of how abnormal the movement is. See how there was a 105 and a 90, and the 90 disappears instantly. Then we come back up to 102. And then 105 trades. So it looks like somebody read that 102 as a real order and then decided to spoof their own order to simulate sell pressure back into the value area at 47.75. And then they saw something and they pulled their order almost immediately rather than continuing the spoof. That trades, and we move higher up to the LVN. We move higher up to VPOC. I'm watching here. Yeah. 44.25 they pull. I get an easy trade there. So far the two ticks are working. Later in the session, I step away. Later in the session, I step away and pass out and fall asleep on my hand on my bed. That's actually what happened. Well, I didn't fall asleep because there was too much caffeine in my body. So I just laid there. Really, the only solution to that is to spam more caffeine. That's the only viable. That's the only acceptable option. So notice how it can't get above 44.25. It's good that I pulled that twice, and then it finally does, and I miss it. But that's okay. I pulled out as well, and I'm trying to take the HVN now, which I get off of the inside prints shifting. We're back down to 46. I want to see if I pulled this order. Yeah, 44 would be the place to long. Price is jumping now. Then I have a long here. I think it stops me out immediately. No, it fills. So I have to watch as to why I bid that. 47. 14, 20, 20, 20, 16. They pull on the ask, and buyers follow through. There's nothing on the inside prints. It looks, I don't really use the concept hunting liquidity in my trading, but that's what it looks like. These are two accidental trades from fills that I was antsy to get from back ticking down into the value area, 47.75. They fill me on both. And then there's some pressure from buyers before sellers step in. Buyers are still hitting the inside prints, 2s and 3s, which scares me a bit, and then 10s. And that 53, I think. See how there's 59 at 48.50, I think. Typically there are orders that stack behind it. You know, if that's not being hit, if there aren't any orders stacking behind it, that just tells me that I'm on the wrong side of the trade, and that 58 is going to get ran over, is what I'm thinking here. And then the buyers let up and sellers launch an attack. It looks like 23 trades at 48 on the inside prints on the ask, which is good. And they fill me. I could take the same short 48 again. If I was on it, you know, boys, if I was quote unquote on it, I would have. Another return pullback trade here. 11 trades on the inside prints, then 25. This is immediately a losing trade. 46, and it's not holding. It's going lower. I'm gonna I'm gonna widen my stop. Well, I actually fear out here. There's a bid stack there at 75, 40, and 34s. I'm looking for a place to get out now because there's no taking to the upside at all at my entry. So I get out. It rallies, but then it sits on 47 before eventually breaking up. So the thing I posted comes to mind. I should probably just read and memorize that. Patience is an important trait many people don't have. They trade too much and they don't pick their spots selectively enough. Had I let that trade just play out, I would have won it. I intuitively like this trade without looking at it very much, though I'm not seeing any pressure from the upside. It just looks like a return pullback and the bid sticking uh, at the low. And then 21 trades. I might be coming up with excuses. 21 trades on the bid, and we move lower. And then, boom, that's a market sell. Somebody, I think, either got liquidated or decided to get out. I get out of that. I get out of that as well. I'm just pulling orders here. I think I take a loser back to back here. No, I don't. But I remember this trade because it was painful. It just sat at 47, and I was thinking, it's not going to fill the other tick, and it's going to move in the opposite direction. We're building a distribution up at 48 even, but that's not what happened. And then but I was technically right. We rallied a VPOC over the low volume node off of that, so there was strength there to the upside, and I did get out. Lucky for two ticks. 809. I think this is me sleeping. Yeah, from 8 to 30. Quick power nap. I'm not too harsh on myself for passing out or things of that nature, or like looking at like social media for a blank, because it doesn't benefit me. It doesn't benefit me to hate myself. Do you know what I mean? So it's better just to stop doing those things, and then when you do those things, just to sort of emotionally pat yourself on the back and say that's okay. Just keep going and try harder, rather than to say, to choke myself out over it. Should I have passed out and laid down? No, I laid down because I was mentally fatigued, and then I fell asleep temporarily for that reason. We're gonna watch the jump here, and then the trade at VPOC. I have a little bit left on the other thing. That was just the pulling of cues over a low volume node, which will happen when you're trading at 834 because that's when the tape picks up. And then I noticed they were respecting 25, and there's some buy pressure up there back to VPOC from 25, which is the floor. Uh, inside print based, nothing on the. I mean, Q-based, nothing on the inside prints. And we come down to 49 and we hit it for a second and we hold 49.25 again. So that's a short-term established value, and then it moves in my favor. Second one, you know what? I have 22 minutes here. I switched to 4 ticks and actually just lost a bunch of money. I get out of this trade because it's taking too long, and I'm not seeing the full traversal of the distribution. And then I punt long here. A return pullback trade, standard return pullback. I really like. And then we come down to 49, and notice how it doesn't hit 49, it just sits at 25. And then there's buyers on the inside prints, which is great. And then 18's absorbed on the inside prints again. And then 11's absorbed. And buyers show up again, and the speed of tape is picking up. It's a beautiful trade. And the Q tickets up on the bid. VPOC changes. That was a great trade. When was that? I'm going to watch it again today. 49.25, 608, 49. I have to. Not because I love trading. I do, 49.25. But because repetition over the same setups over and over again is how I'm going to cut down the learning curve. 49.25, 608, 22.25, part 2 review, rewatch, good trade. We're at VPOC now. This is a risky trade right here. I don't even take it, never mind. Do I? No. There's one around here. It's right there. But I pulled the order. Oh. Oh. Yeah, they filled me right there. And that was such a big... What even was that? Somebody got liquidated. Somebody got liquidated again and the tape exploded. And I thought it was a news event. And by then I'm like, what am I doing here? So return pullback off of little low volume nodes at 75. I think I lose this. No, I don't. It moves in my favor. I moved the stop from 4 ticks to 8 ticks later into the session. I traded until 9 instead of 8:30 to compensate for me falling asleep for 30 minutes.